Mic check, mic check. How's everyone feeling today? I'm gonna need a little bit more energy than that. I said, how's everyone feeling today? My name is Nick Huff. I'm the creator of Hard Knock TV. It is with great pleasure today that I get to introduce the moderator for a very, very special Q&A that I hope you guys are excited as I am about. The moderator coming up is not only a 2-time Grammy nominee, she also pretty much had the soundtrack to my high school years. It is with great pleasure and an honor to introduce author, speaker, and today's moderator, MC LYTE. Give it up, y'all.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much for that introduction. Appreciate you. Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Y'all saw the film? Oh my. Oh my. I am excited to be here with you today. Welcome. Thank you for staying. Also, welcome to all of those who are watching across the entire globe, straight out of Compton. We have Jason Mitchell, O'Shea Jackson Jr., we have Corey Hawkins, Neil Brown, director, producer F. Gary Gray, DJ YELLA, MC Ren, Dr. Dre, and Ice Cube. How special is this? Please welcome them all with a round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, this is awesome. Hello.
How you doing?
I am doing well. It is great to see all of your faces here.
Thank you.
This movie is incredible, and of course we are speaking to an audience around the globe who hasn't had the opportunity to see it, but please know that it hits theaters August 14th, and we're excited. So we're going to approach this as if some people haven't seen the movie, right? Can we do that? Okay, good. So bear with us. We're going to get to the nuts and bolts of what you all want to hear as well. N.W.A.
Yeah.
I know that you were a solo artist to begin with, yes?
Well, I was in this group at first it was called the Stereo Crew, with his cousin Jinx. And and then we ended up calling it CIA, which was a crew in action. Mm-hmm. So then from there,
well, what happened to Jinx?
Oh, he's still around.
He's
you know
still
what I
around.
mean? Yeah,
he didn't make it into
last night. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he started, he ended up producing me when I went solo after the group. So
okay.
Yeah.
So the inception of N.W.A., how did you even all come up with the name N.W.A.?
Well, that came from a friend of mine. His name was Yomo. We were actually outside of Lonzo's house, standing in the street, and we were trying to come up with a name for the group. And this guy just said, out of nowhere, niggas with attitudes. You know what I mean? And took it back to Eazy, Cube, and they loved it. And the story goes on.
Like-minded individuals. Can you imagine them being anything other than N.W.A.? No. So when the album Straight Outta Compton dropped, what was the impact of it on the music world and the culture itself, you think?
Well, it dropped like a bomb. You know what I mean? It was only a few people using that style anyway. So the style was new. It was real raw and underground. But when we came out as a group, we were so dynamic with it that it just started to cause this wave. And, we started off as locals, and then we just looked up, and it seemed like in a matter of a couple of months, the whole world knew who we were. And,
absolutely.
That was just an incredible feeling back in the day.
And also keep in mind, we weren't really serious about trying to be superstars or anything like that. We just wanted to be popular in our town. You know what I mean? In Los Angeles.
We put Compton on the map.
Yeah, that's what it was really about.
That was it.
Right.
Yeah, and this particular record, believe it or not, it took us 6 weeks to record this record, and that was just 5 days a week studio time, 3 hours a day. So, and it did this. It's amazing.
That's relatively quick. Have you done any other project that took that little bit of time?
Absolutely not.
Well, I have to ask you, Dr. Dre, you are such a mystery. I don't know if that's on purpose or not, right?
It's just who I am.
It's just who you are. I was going to say with the film, it connected me to you in a different way. How easy or difficult was it for you to share those intimate moments, like with you and your mom and your brother?
I mean, it was pretty difficult, especially the scene dealing with the death of my brother. You know what I mean? That was a really difficult part for me to get past because I'm still trying to get over that, believe it or not. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, it was tough from that angle, and also to let my mom watch the movie. You know what I mean? It was pretty much her first time seeing the entire movie last night at the premiere. So I tried to sit like a few chairs down from her because, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I didn't want to go through that experience again. And she shed a few tears, but she was happy as well.
You know, I have to take a moment and thank you all for allowing us to come into your world with this movie. Yeah.
Thank you.
To be able to open up. Director-producer F. Gary Gray, I have to ask you, outside of every film you've ever done in your life, what prepared you for this film, Straight Outta Compton?
I think just, everything. Growing up in South Central LA, having a relationship with Ice Cube and also Dre that kind of dates back to 1991, 1992. I'm starting my career with Cube with Friday and kind of going on throughout the years, my relationship in the music business and, all the social issues we had growing up in the 80s. It was just everything. My life and my career prepared me for this movie.
Let me ask you, with Friday, did you ask him to direct the movie? Okay.
Yes. He had just done a video for me that was great called It Was a Good Day.
Okay.
Where which is the 4-minute version of Friday to me. So he was just perfect. What I like about him, it's the same thing that Spike does in New York. He makes our neighborhoods look beautiful. Mm. He makes our, even our, dirty areas have a beautiful grit. And, it's more about the humanity more than just all the hood shit they can show. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I always would choose Gary for something that's meaningful. Right. You know what I mean? Even though Friday was fun.
Yeah.
But it still had its heart at the end with we fight with our hands, don't use the gun, that kind of thing. It still had its heart. That's why that's such a great movie.
Well, you know what? I think my question stems from when someone says, you've been doing videos and you're making your moves, and then someone says, I want you to do this film. Is there any hesitation like, oh my God, am I ready for this? Or you just knew from the giddy up that there wasn't going to be a problem?
Yeah, it was a little tough at first because I know, a lot of the stories, and, I was just thinking, how do you put, into 2 hours, 5 guys over the span of 10 years?
Friday.
Oh, Friday?
Yeah, I meant your first gig ever.
Oh, no,
yeah.
Friday was easy.
Okay.
Friday was easy. Spike got off with Do the Right Thing, and, I had made a short film, or I was trying to finish it, and Cube called me up. He's like, man, you're trying to finish this short film. It's been a couple years, Why don't you just make a feature film? And I'm like, that's what I'm doing the short film from. He's like, let's just do it. And it was just that simple, man. It wasn't any hesitation whatsoever. I shot it on the block that I grew up on, and, we have a lot in common. We grew up kind of close to each other, so it was really easy.
Yeah, well, it certainly looked it. I enjoy Friday. Friday is that is a main data. Yeah, that is a classic for our community. And so I'm going to go over down to the cast. Give the cast a round of applause.
Amazing.
Yes.
Seriously.
Amazing job. When I watch the film, it touches me, but more so, I want to dig into, outside of playing this role and getting into the rhythm of the vernacular and somewhat spending a lot of time in Compton. Was this out of the ordinary for you? Did it put you more in contact with police brutality than you ever had been? Did it step up your awareness?
Absolutely not. The police that we worked with were actually really, really, really good guys.
No. I mean,
No.
You get what I mean? Okay.
But
Have you ever been tossed around is what I'm saying.
I'm trying to use, for lack of a better term,
Right.
I have been harassed by the police several times.
Okay.
You know, so it didn't. I was just surprised that we made such a powerful build, you know, with such good people that we were working around. Because I think it's important for people to know that it's just not about race. It's not about, you know, nothing. It's just people in positions of power just having a flash out moment. You know what I mean? But as a people, I think we have to understand that it goes both ways. You can't fight fire with fire because it's going to make fire.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just a thing where with this film, we can hold up a mirror and just say, hey, guys, just check yourself out. See if you're good. You know what I mean? Because the police brutality situation is real. That's really, really, really real. And it's for everybody.
That's the scene outside of the recording studio, man. I want to pop up in that movie screen. Like, if you don't let these men alone.
And look, Gary didn't tell us that they was going to slap the burgers out our hands. And he didn't
Real
tell us
reaction.
nothing.
Slam us on the
We was
ground.
mad for real.
He looked so like, what? Oh my God.
Right.
It just happened? Like, he got really mad.
confused.
Like, I'm
Right.
something, you know.
That was some acting
the reason
right there.
you feel that way, the reason that scene is so, like, everybody gets upset because by then in the movie, you know you're dealing with good dudes. You know you're dealing with dudes that's trying to do something creative and positive. You know that you're not dealing with your average everyday thug. You know what I'm saying? Even Eazy trying to come out the business that he was in, trying to change his life. So that's why it makes you mad, because you know they good guys being harassed. So, you know, when we see a guy on TV, you know, remember, he could be one of the good guys out the neighborhood getting harassed. You know, it's not always what it seems.
Absolutely. And that empathy wants to cry out for those young men that we see. Corey.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we met in New York after the screening there, and I learned something about you. Where did you go to acting school?
Corey.
I went to Juilliard.
Juilliard. Yes, trained.
Thank you.
And so you told us the story of getting the call from your agent, which I love that story. Please say, because the thing is to always remain open, right? Like open doors bring great things.
Right. So I was working, I was doing Broadway. I was working on Shakespeare of all things. And I remember my agent calling about the movie. And I've been hearing about it for a while because, you know, it had been percolating for a minute. But he was like, yeah, going for, they want to see you for Dre. I was like, what? Me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, I don't look like Dre. I don't think I sound like Dre. I'm like, you know, all the doubts that actors kind of go through in their heads, you know, before. So my agent was like, man, just go into the audition. I was like, listen, I'm not going. I don't think I can do this. I don't want to be the one to mess it up. Listen, I know this story's about to be huge, and I can't, you know, mess it up. And he was like, okay. So he called me back 8 o'clock at night, and he was like, you didn't go in, man. What's going on? Casting's calling me. I'm like, I told you I wasn't going in to do this, man. You know. So one thing led to another. I ended up Skyping with Gary, and when I knew he was on the project, I was like, obviously so. But, you know, then I found out they were producers on it. And I just remember flying out to L.A., did the studio test with these guys.
Back up for a second.
Uh-oh.
You murdered it. Come on.
Come
You
on.
murdered
True
it.
that.
He murdered it. I remember experiencing the audition. Actually, my casting director, Cindy Tolan, sent to me. She's like, man, this is great. And I called Dre, I think in the middle of the night, like, yo, you have to see this, you know? And you can continue your story, but you can't just skip over the fact that you murdered it.
The audition was incredible. Yeah.
It was.
I loved it. Thank you. I just remember going to dinner. We all went out to dinner, watched the playoffs. We ain't talking about the movie at all. Like, we was just kind of, you know, chopping it up. And at the end of dinner, you know, he had the audition on his phone. And I remember, like, we was looking at it and, like, passing it around. And I was like, this is crazy, you know? You know, it's a blessing, though, you know what I'm saying, to be able to step in and to tell this story. Because, like they said, it's a human story. So it doesn't matter where you come from or where you know, how you do it. It's just, it's a story that we can all connect to.
Well, you know what, being from the East Coast and watching N.W.A. live and videos, I didn't think you all laughed. Yeah, y'all seem pretty serious. Like I wasn't clear on the comedy. Ren, let me ask you, with N.W.A, not just being a band, but being a moniker for the community. Tell us about that.
I mean, we represented Compton, we represented the West Coast, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, at that time, I didn't know how important we were at that time. You know what I mean? I just wanted to write rhymes. I know Cube just wanted to write rhymes, put Compton on the map, but we stood for so much more, you know what I mean? We was like representing the whole city, and then we started representing the whole coast, and it's just crazy today how we just represent a whole little period of time.
A movement.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like a movement. Like just like last night when we was at the premiere, it just seemed like a dream. Just you know what I mean? From being in the studio back in the day, just writing rhymes and trying to put it together, all of us in there grinding with the same goal and dream. To be there last night, to see everybody respecting that movement, like Dre said, it's a movement. It's incredible.
You know what? I think it's very important for, all of the people across the globe that are listening, especially young folks who are artists, who are dreamers, who are, creative, that you stick to the grind, and no matter how small it may seem at the time.
You stick to it, you know what I mean? And you do what you want to do and don't worry about the consequences. You know what I mean?
And
don't compromise.
Yeah, because we did what we wanted to do. The lyrics, the music. We didn't
Hey, you was chasing a lot of women in that movie.
I took one.
I
for the
mean,
team.
well, yeah. You took a couple for the team. Go ahead. What were
It wasn't like I was asking Gary to give me a new woman.
Wait till you see the director's cut.
Oh, no.
Please
cut out a lot.
But I'm sorry to cut you, Yella. What were you going to say?
I mean, we did what we wanted to do, and we didn't let the FBI, MTV banning us, no radio play, nothing. And the message from the movie is, young people, whatever you are, a painter, writer, whatever it is, you got a goal, you got passion for it, just do it. Don't let nothing stop you, and don't change it.
Yeah, we stepped up to every challenge, and there was a lot along the way, because as we was doing this music and just having fun and living out our dream of being on tour and being on some of these big stages and these big shows, we had the weight of the world kind of starting to line up against us, and we started to have these people coming from all directions to try to discredit us and try to really stop us, from the FBI to the police to people like the PMRC, which was ran by Tipper Gore, which is Al Gore's wife.
Right.
And it was, people from our own community. It was elders from the black community that didn't understand what we were doing. So we had forces starting to line up against us, and we stood up every time, and we didn't let nothing shake us. We didn't let nothing stop us. And, we passed every test, and that's why we're still here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Give him a clap. Yep. So in the film, Eazy-E says N.W.A.'s art was a reflection of their reality. How did you use your lyrics to represent what you all saw in Compton? Ren, you can speak to that.
I mean, it was no holds barred. You know what I mean? One thing Eazy said to us, and he was like, man, just do what you want to do. We didn't have nobody telling us we couldn't cuss on the records. Whatever we wanted to talk about, we could talk about. And we went through so much, it was just so simple when we got in there just to write what we saw.
So the song, The Hell with the Police, right?
F the police, yeah.
Right, that song, was there anyone in the studio that said, whoa, y'all going real far with this?
Nope.
Everybody was down.
I mean, it was just regular. It was just like another song, really, at that time. Like when we was doing it, we just felt it was just another song on the record. We had no idea the reaction we would get from the record.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on.
Hey,
hold
Here
on.
comes truth.
nah, I'm telling
Man,
you.
you looked at me in the studio when we was playing this back, and you was like, "This gonna start some shit."
I didn't know it was gonna. Hey,
That's exactly what you
I
said.
didn't know it was gonna start that type of shit.
Oh, okay. All right.
That was some different shit.
So courageous. I know that I've learned, you all, the cast, had to learn the entire lyrical take on the album.
Yeah.
How was that? Oh, Shay, let's hear from you. What's going on over there?
Well, you know, that was really one of my favorite parts of prep. You know, we had to go through so much hard stuff. You know, that the album was us having fun in the studio together, you know, building chemistry amongst us, which is what you need for a film like this. And that's my element. You know, I've been seeing him get down with these songs forever, you know, so that I really had a feel for it. If you could tell in the film, when you see it on Friday, go see it on Friday.
That's right.
And, you know, that definitely, that added to our appreciation and to really connect with what we were doing. You know, you feel like them songs are yours. You know, you wanna really portray them the right way when you feel like you had a hand in creating it. And we had to make sure our voices were right, telling each other, nah, man, you need a little bit more air on that one, you know?
Right. You had one another.
That ain't it.
You had one another's back, which I think is really important. What's great that I've learned, somehow I must have missed that Dr. Dre scratched.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, like that's where it all started. Like what?
Yeah, I started out as a DJ. I was a pretty popular DJ here in Los Angeles. I actually had a radio show that aired on K-Day. It was a station called K-Day back then, AM station.
15 something, right?
Yeah, it came on at 5 o'clock every day, the traffic jam, you know. And I became a really popular DJ out here. And I think that's one of the things that made me a great producer because just learning how to sequence and knowing which song comes next and what have you.
I'll be in the party saying, Dre, play this. You're like, not yet. Dre, play this shit, man. It's hot. Not yet. Party get full. Now's the time.
Now.
Dre rock it. Yeah. It's dope.
Nice and easy. Okay, so from Instagram for Dr. Dre, Cube, Ren, Yella, we have an Instagram question at Bennett M. Darshan. Did making this movie bring back a sense of nostalgia between you all?
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Laughing the whole time. Every time we see each other on set, like, I can't believe this shit. Huh? Fun, man. You know, it's like just being up here with these dudes, you know, we created something great, you know, like 25 years ago, you know, and here we go. Creating something great now, you know, us still here doing it. You know, the N.W.A. family tree is vast, it's big. It's, you know, people, you know, without N.W.A., you don't have nothing. You know, it's like, we don't do the Friday movie without N.W.A. We don't do, it was a good day.
Right, which leads to the Italian job and negotiating and law-abiding system. All this stuff that I did was connected to these guys working diligently in a garage, making sure Outta Compton.
Yeah, I mean,
you know?
Same here.
No Boys in the Hood movie.
Y'all changed
It's like no Eminem, no Snoop, no all these people, no beats. It's like it all starts here.
He said no beats.
It all starts here.
Well, you know what? It actually brings me to, in the movie, you guys were able to infuse the DOC and Snoop. And so just knowing all of the lives that you have touched and the musical impact that you've had, and now a new project. Why now? I mean, have we been waiting?
Oh, you mean the album?
Yes.
I mean, you know what? I was on the set of the movie. I was leaving the set every day, and I just felt so inspired, you know what I mean? And I just decided one night on my way home from the set, I was just going to roll my sleeves up and start working on this album. And I got to maybe a third song, and I said, you know what? This is starting to sound great. I should go on and complete this. And then it snowballed from there. And it came out exactly the way I wanted, you know? And I got a chance to work with a lot of new, exciting musicians, artists, singers, rappers, and what have you, and everybody just came and gave their best job, and it came out incredible. At least I think so.
That's awesome.
Definitely.
That is
Definitely.
awesome.
All
Give it up.
everything's work. Compton.
So we have another question from Instagram for Shay, Corey, Jason, Neil, at Steph Badilla 92, well, _92. Was there a moment where you guys got emotional? Of course, yes. This is someone who obviously hasn't seen the film.
No
but
judgment.
yes, how emotional did you get?
Well, you know, during the scene, you know, these two have the most heavy emotional scenes in the film, and it's a blanket on set. We're usually laughing, we're usually joking around, but there's a blanket over the set where you just, you know, it's quieter. Nobody's joking. You know, you want to keep your man in his mode as much as you can. You want to help him as much as you can to stay in pocket.
I think that you know, we fought. You know what I mean? We fought through a lot.
Yeah.
And we really had a lot to do. We had a lot of ground to cover in like a little bit of time. But when we did the scene where Tyree, you know, passes or whatever, I think as men, we don't really throw that to each other that much. You know, we don't cry, we don't hug each other. We don't do all that because it's just not cool. You know what I mean? But that day, it was like crazy because everybody was touching each other. Everybody was like, but everybody was crying, even though you might not see it on camera. You know, because they got a lot, you know, to go in this little bit of time. But I remember that day, and I remember how it was. It was like it was thick. You could cut it with a knife. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was crazy.
And that was we filmed that at the beginning of the movie. And so Gary, you know, here he go, you know, genius. He
strategizing.
He, you know, we filmed that at the beginning of the movie, and that bonded us. We was already brothers, like from the jump, right? But that really sealed it. So then we went on the ride of the movie, and like the ride of N.W.A. all the way up until Eazy's death. And that really took us because we shot that towards the end of the week, and they called it the Easy week. You know, because, but this guy right here, I mean, it was just, I just remember it being so tough to just sit there and watch our brother, Jason, in that, go through that. And he kills it. He completely embodies that, you know?
No, at that point,
Absolutely.
it was real. At that point, I couldn't even look at him in the hospital gown. You dig what I'm saying? Because, you know, we're acting a part. It's easy, but that's Jason, man, and I can't see my man hurt.
It was very, very, very emotional for these guys. I set it up and actually scheduled it in such a way so that they could bond, and so these moments were actually real because they actually became friends. But I remember when we shot the scene with Eazy in the hospital, I actually had to create an environment for Jason to become vulnerable and let go and tap into real pain. And I nurtured him through that process, but Neil started to watch. And I actually had to nurture him as well at the same time because he broke down watching Jason break down.
And then I showed up. I showed up to set. I remember showing up to set because we shot all that like within a compact time. I remember showing up to set and y'all were leaving and I'm coming up there like, hey, what's up, guys? You know what I'm saying? What's going on? We about to shoot this, you know. But as soon as I walked in the building, everybody was like, I mean, it was just silent, you know? And it was a respect for the craft, the respect for Eazy's memory and his legacy. It was just a heavy day. And then we just had to drop in and go.
I got to thank Gary for breaking out the noise. I mean, he blocked out all the noise of the
He took care of you.
Yeah, exactly, so that we could, you know, feel that and have that together. And he didn't, you know, he didn't let outside influences get to us. He let us really be in that moment and feel it. And, I mean, the man's a great director.
Great about that, though? On some real stuff. What's great about that, and I suggest everybody do this, especially if like you don't like yoga or like, you know, you got problems at home. Like sometimes you might want to cry. Because after that, I felt good. Like, you know, a lot of people it was quiet, but I had a smile on my face. People was like, how can he feel like this? But it was therapeutic, you know what I mean? Because I lost a couple of friends shooting this movie. I'm from New Orleans, you know what I mean? And it's real. And like, I had a lot of things to cry about, and I just didn't think that it was affecting me like that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think it was built up in me like that. But, I mean, I feel better. You know what I mean? So, like, for those of y'all who feel like crying ain't cool, you might want to reevaluate. You know what I'm saying?
Get yourself a cry.
Let it all
Go
out.
on and cry.
Well, Jason, while we're down there with you, you were the only one who didn't have the person to go to find this inspiration. How were you able to tap into Eazy-E?
This my Eazy-E right here.
Okay.
These guys love that dude, for real. You know what I mean? And I really feel like they wanted him to have the right mark left on the world. You know what I mean? It kind of happened all fast where it was like, you know, the group broke up, then, you know, money problems, and then he dies, you know? And he was so much more than that. He was the beginning of this. You know what I mean? Without the bread, it wouldn't have been nothing. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I think it was just more about me hitting the mark for those who it mattered to.
Right.
You know? And the preparation, don't get me wrong, I had to make a full transformation. I had to drop the accent. I had to learn how to walk and talk from the whole nine.
Can you do a little
Give
walk?
your LA accent.
Give an LA accent and
Give your
walk
LA
at the
accent.
same time.
Give it to him.
No, we got.
Hey, homie, what y'all want? What y'all want me to say, homie? I'm already
Where the money at?
Kick a rhyme and walk Eazy-E walk.
Hey, wait.
Oh, man, see, y'all might have to pay for that. Y'all might have to pay for that.
Don't let Easy strike you down now.
Yeah, but I remember the day I felt like I hit the mark, though, because we had to do this test, and there was like no costumes, no nothing, and we had to do like a performance to see if we really had the thing going on. And after my verse, Dre was like, I was like, yeah, that's what's up.
They went through a lot.
But yeah,
they went through a lot. You know, I don't want to. Let's not minimize at all what they did, because you look at movies like Raging Bull and see what De Niro went through. He gains weight and loses weight and all this type of stuff. These guys went through separately a lot of different things. That we went to boot camp. They recorded the album. You had to eat 4,000 calories a day just to bulk up to take on Eazy's physical appearance, right?
And that's, look, wake up, boxing, then the gym, then you go perform, then we go rehearse, then I go home and do homework to try to figure out Eazy-E. You know what I mean? That was my day every day.
Incredible.
Well worth it. Well worth it.
Thank you.
Now, shooting in Compton in the same places that these events happen added a level of authenticity to this project that both Gary and the members of N.W.A. and the cast held so dear to themselves throughout the making of this entire film. Talk to us, Gary, about what you all did to ensure that the story was told properly.
It's really interesting. You know, I've been on this project for 4 years, and we had to do it, you know, for a budget. And the original conversations were, hey, listen, we can't afford to shoot this in Los Angeles. We have to shoot this somewhere else where there's a rebate. So we talked about shooting in New Orleans. We talked about shooting in Miami. And even a conversation came up about shooting this in Boston. And so Straight Outta Compton in Boston, the much they hate the Lakers, I was like, that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
So we made like get uncomfortable. Look at them. But basically, it was like, you know, I thought that it was really important to shoot in Los Angeles because L.A. and Compton and South Central is like the sixth member of N.W.A. And you know, tapping into this story, I wanted to show the why these guys made this music and what forged N.W.A. was Compton and Los Angeles and all of the good things and the bad things about the city. And so keeping it authentic, keeping it really real, we wanted to shoot there. And a lot of times when you shoot in these other places, you have to shoot really small shots so that you won't see off and see other things.
Right.
And I've done that in different movies, but this one we had to shoot in L.A., and these guys really helped. And to see them come to Compton and hang out and kick it, the community opened their arms, and it was all love. It was brilliant.
Absolutely.
It was great.
I couldn't imagine this being shot anywhere else. Yeah.
They were bringing
Couldn't do it.
to set. They was
No
like
way.
sleeping on rooftops and like bringing their babies to set. It was surreal. Like,
Magical. Brought the whole
was dope.
community together. So, okay, so I want to get off the grid a little bit. In the movie, I did see you and Eazy seem very committed in relationships that ended in marriage relatively quick, with you all being young. Was that something that was instilled by your parents, or, because I think on the East Coast they say single for as long as they can. I don't know what's going on. Help me understand.
No, I mean, when you find the right one, you better keep her.
That's right.
That's
You know
all
what
it
I'm
is.
saying? Don't let her
Just
get
have to
away.
Find the right one.
Yes. I love that. Early commitment. Early commitment. I love it. So now, what's going on over there?
Yeah, thank God, or he wouldn't be here right now.
Who you telling?
I was a late bloomer. We wouldn't be sitting here.
That's so real. You know, people ask me, what do you want people to take away? I say, you know, besides just loving the story, having fun, and being taken back and having a trip down memory lane and all these things and its history, I want people to be inspired by what's happening behind the scenes. You know, people talk about the lyrics and, you know, all of these things that you can focus on with just what's happening on the surface, but these guys have been married for over 20 years. They're family men, and if you could just look at how things actually turned out and how they started in a garage and an environment that was sometimes dangerous, sometimes destructive, but made something really positive out of it, to be inspired by what's happening now outside of the movie. That's part of the movie.
Right.
It's like, look at them now. They're still standing, and a lot of us didn't make it.
Yeah.
You know, not on this level and not with this positive outcome.
Absolutely. Look. Okay, so Facebook, Will F., we're in the social world. I've been told, this is what he's saying, I've been told over the years the music wasn't for me, specifically white kids, now men. My question is, as someone who can never fully relate to what N.W.A. spoke about through rap, am I wrong for claiming a connection to it these past 25 years?
Not at all. Not at all. You know, this music, it's like fine art. It's for everybody that want to see it and everybody that want to hear it. So, you know, this was a way to experience what we went through from a safe distance. You know what I'm saying? So it's fine. It's cool. You know, I watch, you know, shit like the, you know, Discovery Channel. And I'm like, I wouldn't get out there with them damn lions and tigers and bears. Oh, my. So, you know what I mean? It's cool to look from a safe distance and still stay interested, still be, you know, aware and know what, you know, your fellow Americans are going through. That's fine. Nothing's wrong with that at all.
Absolutely. Did any of you want to comment on that, Ren, Yella?
Our first tour, man, it was filled with white people, so they bought records just like everybody
I
else.
saw that in the movie, a lot of the audience.
You know, we was shocked when we went on the road and we looked out there like, damn, you know what I mean? But
like, what's going on?
yeah, it's for everybody, man. You know, we don't discriminate.
Right.
It's
Nah, what it is, our music, we did, I guess it was so real, and just people outside the ghetto were just like, wow, what's going on there? You know, they're interested, and it just caught on. And like he said, 90% of the audience was white.
The music was just good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No color lines.
That's basically it.
Yeah, no color lines. Where music resonates with everyone, you know that it's real, it's authentic, it's true.
It does that to people.
Honesty.
And
Yeah,
everybody
absolutely.
goes through a stage, no matter where you're from, that rebellious stage when you're a teenager and you don't care about a lot of things your parents are talking about or what's going on in school, whatever it works out. I'm not saying do anything bad, but I'm saying we go through that stage, and I think that N.W.A. tapped into the rebellious nature in all of us. That's why it transcended race, it transcended just background, and also where you from.
Culture. What are the elements of the story or themes that anyone could relate to? Is it an American dream story? If so, how so?
Rags to riches. David versus Goliath.
Okay.
Inspirational breakup to make up. You know, it's like
movies.
damn near everything you can cut up when it comes to relationships. But this movie has everything, you know, and it has, you know, stand up for yourself, know your business. You know what I'm saying? You got to know your business. You know, so it has many, many layers. That's what's so great and brilliant about what Gary Gray put together, that it has many layers. And every time you see the movie, you will peel back another layer and have another appreciation for the piece.
You know, I was just thinking, because just traveling across the nation, and there's all these different things happening as it relates to Black Lives Matter and this campaign. I'm wondering, what do you say to your son to help him through any scenario? I understand that parents are telling their kids, okay, you do this if ever stopped, don't do that, say this. Have you advised him in any special way?
My instructions to all my kids is make it home. That's your only order, and that's your only instruction. Make it home no matter what. That means do whatever it takes to make it to the house. And, you know, the fact that we live in a world where we have to remind people that Black lives matter. is terrible in itself. We all got to check ourselves that we even have to remind each other that each other matter. So, I tell my kids, make it home. That's the most important thing. Don't nothing else matter.
That's right.
Not to me.
That's right.
But that you make it home.
I hear you. Yes. We want you alive and well. For YELLA, why was now the right time to make this film, and how are we facing similar issues today that we were facing all the way back when F the Police came into effect?
Well, you know something? Before we came along, it was already going on. And it was deep in the ghetto back then. We go in places, get on the ground, lay face down. But nowadays, 26 years later, it's like the same thing going on. Like the song, brand new again. But the thing is, everybody got cell phones, they got body cams, car cams, but they got the police, not all the police. It's just the ones that cross the line. Like Q would say, they got to be accountable for what they're doing. But I'm going to tell you the solution. You give one of them 100 years on the main line. That will start, okay, we got to watch ourselves now. You got to stretch them. You stretching the criminals, they criminals too. So you got to stretch them. No probation, no parole, nothing. Because they just, now it ain't a color what they doing. It was just blacks first. Now it's women, any color, any race. They don't care no more. They just going crazy.
It's just a power trip, you know what I'm saying? It's bully tactics, you know what I mean? It's like power tripping. So it's the weak against the strong. Yeah.
Once audiences leave this theater after seeing this film, what do you hope they leave with, Mr. Gary?
Well, like I said earlier, I want people to have a great time, but I want you to be inspired. For some of us, it's a trip down memory lane. For some of us, it's a history lesson with great music. But at the end of the day, like Cube said, we touch on a lot of themes that are universal. There's tragedy, there's triumph, there's brotherhood, there's rags to riches. But at the end of the day, when you really examine it, there's a lot to this movie. Watch it and just be inspired.
Ren, what do you want them to leave the theater thinking?
I want them to take away, man, like they could see all the stuff we went through, you know what I mean, our struggle, and like Cube said earlier, like the message of it all, like you could do what you want to do, you know what I mean? Don't hold back, you know what I mean? Get that in your head that whatever you want to do, just go out there and do it. Don't worry about the consequences. Don't compromise yourself, and take that with you.
Dre?
Just inspiration. That's all it is. It's just if you really believe in yourself and you believe in what you're doing, just stick to it. And hopefully this movie inspires you to do just that. Just stick to whatever you feel like you're good at, first of all. And just stick to it and keep pushing.
That's right. So Corey, y'all can clap. Inspiration is huge. It moves mountains. What was it like having Dr. Dre there showing you how to be on the wheels of steel?
Oh, man. That's like we always say, we feel like we hit the life lottery, man. Like, that's crazy. It's wild, because I remember that day on set. Because Dre usually, he sit back and he watch, he sit in pocket and he just, watch the monitors and kind of let me do my thing. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that, because he does that with his artists too. You know what I'm saying? In terms of music, he likes to give other people a platform, people that he believes in, and just kind of let them go. But I remember that day on set, it was the scene at Jinx's house, and we were working on It's Time, and I remember everybody was like, Dre's coming in, Dre's coming in, Dre's coming in. So everything stopped, man. Everything stopped. Like, people was working on the lights. They started hanging, and people was just like, and everybody turned, and I remember he came in, and he just looked at the tables, because they were so authentic to the tables that he used to use back then. Everything in this movie is so authentic. And he was just like, kind of showing me just kind of how to get down on them. And it was surreal. And I didn't have my cell phone to capture them moment. You know what I'm saying?
Had to be their moment.
But it was it was just powerful, man, because he was there every day, you know, being a mentor, being a guide. All of them were, man, and it gave you that boost of confidence, you know, to see the man in action.
Dre, let me ask you, how does it feel to hear him describe what a room is like before you enter, with them knowing you're on your way?
That's weird, man. This is the first time I've heard this story. I did not know that. But yeah, at the beginning, what I told Corey was like, I don't want you to just start staring at me trying to copy my mannerisms or trying to copy the way I talk or anything like that. I just want you to understand the character, take it, embody it, and do your thing. I just wanted him to be comfortable with it. That way he was going to be able to give the best performance.
Absolutely. And you did. You did a beautiful job. All of you. Yeah. Without question. We have an audience question. Orlando Bucio. Okay, there's the microphone.
Hello, my name's Orlando. I'm here from El Camino Compton College.
Deep.
I loved the movie. My question is, do you guys think this movie will give a good or bad image to Compton?
I think it'll give it a good image. You know what I mean? Like just a whole story, like coming from nothing and putting Compton on the map, and it's just worldwide now. You know what I mean? Before that, it was like Compton was like basically everybody looked at it as like a joke. You know what I mean? So I think, yeah, most definitely.
A joke?
Yeah, I
don't
mean, you
think
know.
so.
Well, as far as
musically,
yeah, you know, people wouldn't even admit back in the day that they was living in Compton. You know, it was like a stigma damn near. And now people can wear that with pride. You know what I
we
mean?
didn't look at it as no joke.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
People wear it as a badge of pride,
Yeah.
and people know that there's talent there now because it's still talent coming out of Compton.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think, you know, it's like everything. It's not really where you from. It's where you at.
That's right.
For real.
That is right. We are going to go to the audience for another question. Miranda Mesa, please, can you stand while you ask this question of the Straight Outta Compton?
Hello, I'm a student also from El Camino in Compton.
Yeah.
And my question for you guys, I'm born and raised there. Do you really believe in getting out the hood to pursue success?
Well, I think, you know, it's nothing wrong with getting out the hood, but you always got to come back. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing wrong with seeing something new, doing new things, experiencing new things, going to get your life together, and coming back, you know. So never feel bad for what you got to do, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, you got to look out for, you know, somewhat of your best interest and what's good for you. And you can't let no hood, no homies, no homegirls, nothing hold you back from pursuing your dreams. Just tell them you'll be back. I'll be back to get you. I'll be back to get you. Don't worry.
Dre, would you mind chiming in on that question?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I can only speak for myself personally. I've always wanted to just get out, go and see different things, just like Hugh said, just see the world basically, and just have nice things in general. That's all it is to it. And like he said, get out and go back and help. And that's what we're about to do soon.
That's right. F. Gary Gray?
Oh, I do it all the time. I mean, you know, like he said, you don't have to necessarily get out. It's whatever's in your heart. You can't live for nobody else. And, you know, for me, I wanted to do movies, and, you know, we weren't making movies in South Central. So I had to kind of look around and do what I had to do. But, you know, we've been involved with a lot of stuff in Watts and South Central LA and Compton for years. Got youth centers and things like that. And like Cube said, don't be shamed into loving what you love. It's okay to be happy. And if you're happy in the hood, kick it in the hood. And if you're happy being somewhere else, be accountable and responsible for your life. Don't live for nobody else.
That's right. That's right. Ren, would you like to chime in?
I'm like, man, you know, like he said, like, come back. Like Cube said, you know, you could leave, but just come back. You know, I think me, myself, if I wouldn't have started rhyming, I probably was gonna leave for a minute anyway, because I was about to join the army like a fool. But you know, I was gonna leave anyway, so who knows where I'd be at. But yeah, you know, as long as you don't forget where you come from, never forget that. You know what I mean? But do
You
what
were
wanna
gonna
do.
protect us. That's okay.
I mean, I was trying to make some money.
Right.
You know what I mean? I ain't even
Get
gonna
out,
lie.
stay out of trouble. Yeah.
I was just trying. I wanted to go see the world. You know, I was like, send me to Germany. You know what I mean? I was like way out there, me and my homies. So it was just crazy. But
Well, you still got a chance to see the world. That's
yeah,
for sure.
That's what I did.
That's
man.
exposure.
Yeah.
Yella.
I mean, like he said, just never forget where you came from. That's all it's about. Never forget, and just keep going forward.
That's real. When we're examples of that. You know, the first movie I got was Friday, and I shot it on the block that I grew up on. When they punch Red and says, "You got knocked the F out," that was my house. Without the grass, it was dirt. That's where I grew up. And you know, it's the same thing. We wanted to shoot in Compton, and they wanted us to shoot in Toronto. You know what I mean? And so, you know, there's things you can do, but just make sure you just do it because you want to, not because you're being shamed into it.
I love how O'Shea wrapped his hand around. Bye, Felicia. He brought it all the way back.
Oh,
Yes.
Gary was like, man, stiff arm her.
Stiff arm.
Don't put that on me.
Okay, we have another question from the audience. Carmen Sanchez. Thank you. Tell us.
That's a question couch.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm also a student from El Camino College.
Microphone.
Okay, my question is, what impact, positive or negative, do you think you've had on American popular culture?
Well, you know, everything we've done has not been positive, you know, and that's real, but it's been honest. And that's all we can give, you know. I'm pretty sure that a few more kids cuss because of us, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, we hope on the other hand, a few more people get woke up, a few more people understand that we did this on the creative tip. You know, we didn't do this, you know, we didn't go out in the street and burn down buildings or loot nothing. We just stayed creative and positive, and you could do a lot with a pen and a pad, and that's what we did. You know, we did a lot with a pen and a pad, and like I said, everything is not positive. You know, it's just like the news. Everything you watch is not going to be positive, you know, but some things just got to be said. Some things just got to be done. You know, when we first started, we had our own style. Not too many people was doing it like us. Now everybody's doing it like us. So, you know, sometimes you turn into Dr. Frankenstein, not Dr. Dre, and you build a monster. But so be it. You know, I think the world is more honest with itself right about now than it's ever been, and artists are free to be themselves without wearing the goody two-shoe mask that they used to wear before N.W.A. So, you know, we just was honest, truthful, and we talked about the good, the bad, and the ugly of our community and society.
And we do not take your honesty for granted. We appreciate you all for being here today. Please give them a round of applause. Thank you, everyone, for being part of such a great discussion. Thanks to all of you on stage. And remember, Straight Outta Compton opens here in the United States this Friday. For all of you at home, take a look at this exclusive clip. Thank you. God bless.
Feel like it's getting weird. Man, shut up and get comfortable. Let's go. Cruising down the street in my 6'4". Shit. What the fuck is so funny?
Nothing.
Nah. Oh, E, can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you, man. How much y'all fucking laughing?
Nah.
Hey, You good? Just hit that first beat hard, man. You gotta come in on beat. Cruising down the street. You cruising.
You good,
All right?
Eric?
Hey,
No. You good.
it's dope. But on beat. Again, all right? Let's go. You cruising. All right? Cruising down the street in my 6'4".
That ain't it. It really ain't.
Hey,
bro.
hey,
That shit
Dre,
was
you
bad.
gotta go if we gonna do this. Cube, you gotta go.
Fuck out of here, yo. You not talking
Nah, nigga, both of y'all.
You talking to me?
Bye.
Go, Cube. And Yella, get the fuck
Me
out
too.
of here, man. Yeah, so we can get this shit
Write
done.
the song, Cube. Shut the fuck up, Cube.
Take these with you, Cube.
Yella. Yes, man. Come on.
You know what?
Whatever. Whatever. You motherfucker.
Come on,
You
Eazy.
finished, Dre? You want to laugh too? I stay in this bitch by myself.
Hey, just say the words, all right?
What does that even mean?
Man, just say the shit with me, all right? Cruising.
Cruising.
Yeah,
All right.
cruising.
All
Let's
right.
go.
Dre, you know this shit ain't gonna never work.
All right, you trying to be funny, but you see how you said that shit, right? Like you believe it?
Yeah, I believe that shit.
Then say this shit like you believe it, man. Like it's a motherfucking Sunday and you cruising down Crenshaw in a motherfucking 6'4". Come on, say that shit like you believe it, man. Like it's your words. Feel that shit. Stop playing around. Loosen the fuck up. There you go.
Cruising down the street in my 6'4".
Oh, shit. Hey, that was dope, eh? That shit was dope, man. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man.